It feels like the sky has been angry lately. Heavy rain, gray clouds that seem to hang around all day, flash flood warnings lighting up the phone, roads covered in standing water where you find yourself slowing down because you are not completely sure how deep that puddle actually is. After enough days like that, everything starts to feel a little heavy. And weather has a strange way of getting inside us. When everything outside already feels unsettled, it does not take much for everything inside to start feeling unsettled too. The unfinished work feels bigger. The money worry gets louder. The conversation you have already replayed 12 times suddenly gets a 13th version. You check the news, then your email, then your bank account. And somehow, late at night, you are researching something you absolutely cannot solve at midnight. The storm outside becomes background noise to the one happening in your head. I was thinking about that while driving home during a brutal downpour recently. The rain was coming down so hard that the windshield wipers were moving as fast as they could and still seemed to be losing. The highway lines kept disappearing underneath the water. Trucks were throwing huge sprays across the windshield. My shoulders were practically touching my ears. Both hands were locked around the steering wheel. Then a tanker truck beside me started drifting toward the line, and my eyes locked onto it. I could not stop watching those enormous tires. All I could think was, please stay over there, please stay over there. But the more I stared at the truck, the worse my driving felt. There is a basic idea in driving. Where your eyes go, your hands tend to follow. So I forced myself to stop staring at what frightened me. I looked ahead, found the lane again, breathed, and almost immediately, I felt more stable. The truck was still there. The rain was still coming down. Nothing outside had changed. I had simply stopped giving the thing I feared my entire field of vision. That is what came back to me when I read this Sunday's gospel. Jesus sends the disciples ahead in a boat while he goes away by himself to pray. Later, the wind picks up. The boat is being tossed around. It is the middle of the night, and suddenly the disciples see Jesus walking toward them on the water. They are terrified, but Jesus calls out, "Take courage, it is I, do not be afraid." Then Peter, being very much Peter, says, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." Jesus says one word, "Come." And Peter gets out of the boat. For a moment, he is doing the impossible. He is walking toward Jesus on top of the waves. Then Matthew tells us that Peter notices how strong the wind is. He becomes afraid, and he begins to sink. The wind was already there. The waves were already there. The situation did not suddenly become dangerous. Peter just became consumed by it. He stopped seeing Jesus and started seeing everything that could go wrong. And I know that feeling. Maybe you do too. You wake up at 2 in the morning and one problem fills the entire room. Money, your job, someone you love, a health concern, something you regret, something you are afraid might happen. One thought becomes 5, 5 become 10. And before long, your mind is years into a future that has not happened, trying to survive disasters that do not exist yet. Nothing around you has changed, but you feel like you are drowning. What I love about this gospel is what Peter does next. He does not compose himself. He does not suddenly become brave. He does not give Jesus a beautiful prayer. He is sinking. So he says, "Lord, save me." 3 words, that is all. And Jesus immediately reaches out his hand and catches him. Immediately. He does not wait for Peter to calm down. He does not make him explain himself. He catches him. I need that part of the gospel. Because sometimes prayer is thoughtful, sometimes it is peaceful, And sometimes prayer is, God, help. I am scared. I do not know what to do. I cannot stop thinking about this. Please stay with me. That still counts as prayer. This Sunday's first reading gives us another person surrounded by noise. Elijah is hiding in a cave. He is exhausted. He has been running. His life feels dangerous and uncertain. Then comes a powerful wind. But God is not in the wind. Then an earthquake. God is not in the earthquake. Then fire. God is not in the fire. And after all of that comes something tiny, quiet, a whisper. Something Elijah could easily have missed. That speaks to me because when I am anxious, I usually want God to answer loudly. Fix this. Change this. Tell me what is going to happen. Give me certainty. Make the storm stop. But sometimes God gives me something much smaller. Enough grace for the next 10 seconds. Breathe. I am here. Take the next step. You do not have to solve everything tonight. That may not feel dramatic enough, but neither was the whisper. And even St. Paul admits in this Sunday's second reading that he carries great sorrow and constant anguish in his heart. I find that comforting. Being close to God does not mean becoming emotionally bulletproof. Faith does not mean we never worry. It does not mean we never grieve. It does not mean our chest never tightens or our thoughts never race. Peter really was standing on rough water. Elijah really was afraid. Paul really was hurting. And whatever you are carrying may be very real too. Faith does not require pretending the storm is not happening. The question is whether the storm becomes the only thing you can see. That is where I get into trouble. I stare at one problem until it becomes the whole windshield. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I cannot handle it? What if it never gets better? And meanwhile, somewhere underneath all that noise, God is still there, not shouting over it, not demanding that I stop feeling anxious immediately, just there. Psalm 85 says that God's salvation is near, not waiting at the end of the perfect week, not hiding behind the solution to every problem. Near, here, before anything gets fixed. And there is something else in the gospel I do not want to miss. The wind does not stop when Jesus catches Peter. Jesus catches him first. Then they get back into the boat together. Then the wind settles. I often reverse that order. I think, once this situation settles down, I will feel close to God again. Once I know the answer. Once the money works out. Once I hear back. Once the relationship improves. Once I stop feeling afraid. Then I will have peace. But Jesus steps into the storm before the storm ends. Maybe peace is not always the absence of rough water. Maybe sometimes peace is realizing whose hand has you while you are still standing in it. So let's make this practical. The next time you notice your mind staring at the truck again, give yourself 10 seconds. Not 10 minutes, 10 seconds. Look away from the screen, drop your shoulders, let your hands relax. Take one slow breath and pray Peter's prayer, Lord, save me. Maybe you need saving from panic in that moment. Maybe from the need to control something you cannot control. Maybe from resentment. Maybe from the story you are making up about tomorrow. Maybe simply from the belief that everything depends on you. Ask yourself, what am I staring at right now? And where is Jesus in this moment? Not where will he be when everything works out? Where is he now? At the desk with you? In the car? In the kitchen while you stare at another bill? Beside your bed at 2 a.m? In the waiting room? In the 10 seconds before you send the message you probably should not send? God is not waiting somewhere beyond the storm. He is already here. If it is comfortable, close your eyes for a moment. Let your breathing slow down. You do not need to predict how everything will end. You do not need to solve the whole road ahead. Just be here. Jesus, you know what has been taking up too much space in our minds. You know what we keep replaying, predicting, and trying to control. You know the things we are genuinely afraid of. We do not want to pretend those fears are not real, but we also do not want them to become all we can see. When we start staring at the storm, turn our attention back toward you. When the noise gets loud, help us notice your quiet presence. When we begin sinking into everything that might happen tomorrow, bring us back to where you are meeting us today. And when we do not have the words for a beautiful prayer, hear the simple one: Lord, save me. Reach for us, steady us. Remind us that we do not have to wait for the storm to end before we can find you in it. You are here, even now. Amen.